my channel, Surprise Comics. This is Matt coming at you with the contest entry. This is going to be a contest entry for Captain America 83, 87. He had a really cool contest where you kind of do a character breakdown and show some of the key issues that character's been in over the years. And I thought that sounded really cool, so I wanted to participate. And you know, if you're not subscribed to this channel, it's a great channel. So it has really good hauls, really good deals. You know, definitely has a lot of good Captain America stuff. You can tell by the name, but a lot of other stuff as well. Speaking of contests, I'm doing a contest myself. I've had about 5 entries so far. So I'm going to go ahead and throw your names up on the screen right here. If you've entered my contest and you didn't see your name right then, either you just barely entered or I somehow missed it, make sure you drop me a message here to make sure I see your video and get you into the contest. A few other people say they're going to make videos. Like, I don't know if I mentioned it before, this contest will go on to January 31st. So I want to make sure to give everyone plenty of time. Just a reminder, my contest is show me your top 10 to 15 or 5 to 10 or however many you want to show, just kind of like a highlight reel of the comics you picked up last year, which ones you liked best, which ones your favorites, doesn't matter. It could be your favorite covers, the best deals, the most key issues for your collection. Just however you want to break it down. It doesn't even have to be great comics. If you just want to show, hey, I picked up a bunch of action figure comics, like Comic Book SE, he showed me some of his favorite action figure comics he picked up last year. Perfect. That's, you know, just participate. You can watch my subscriber contest video if you want more information on it, but I want to move on and get into Captain America's contest and stop plugging my own. So if you can't tell by what you see in front of you, the character I've chosen is Red Hood, or more specifically Jason Todd. So let's go ahead and move on with that. Jason Todd's first appearance is Batman 357. It's also the first appearance of Killer Croc. In this issue, Jason Todd is introduced as an acrobat. So I guess in this continuity, Bruce Wayne's deal is when Dick Grayson moved on, he had to find a new Robin. So why not look at some acrobats? Maybe their parents will get killed and, you know, I can recruit them. So not really the most original concept, but hey, you make up for it later on. Next issue we have is Batman 368. This is when Jason Todd officially becomes Robin. His first appearance as Robin is in issue 366, but this issue is where he gets kind of like the blessing from Dick Grayson. He wasn't sure what his nickname was going to be as Batman's sidekick, and Dick Grayson told him it should be Robin and gave him the blessing and gave him the costume. They also really weirdly, they dyed his hair black. I guess they want him to look more like Dick Grayson. Originally he was a redhead. Final Crisis came and went, and so following Final Crisis, they kind of rebooted a little bit, and a lot of characters got new origins, and one of those characters that got a new origin was Jason Todd, who was definitely in much need of a new origin. Here we have Jason Todd. The way he becomes, is discovered by Batman, is he actually tries to steal the tires off the Batmobile. And here we can see on the cover, we got the Batmobile. You can see the bat head right there. When Batman comes down, it's like, what in the world are you think you're doing? So, and kind of relaunched Jason Todd a little bit. Made him a little angrier, a little more of a jerk. And then we have, you know, this is Batman 427. This isn't the big issue. The one you want is 428. Unfortunately, I don't have that one to show you. It's really high up there on my to-get list, along with the other parts of this one. But I'm going to show this since it has Jason Todd on the cover. And as you can see by the title, A Death in the Family, this is the death of Jason Todd. And Jason Todd was killed. It was like a huge part of Batman's story for like the next, you know, 200 issues practically. Jason Todd's death haunted him. Batman became more reckless, more dangerous, more violent. Introduced characters like Tim Drake, Azrael. A bunch of new characters came in. all during the time when there was no Jason Todd. Jason Todd makes his reappearance during the Hush storyline. And actually, the way this is presented in the storyline is that it wasn't actually Jason Todd. It was Clayface pretending to be Jason Todd. As you know, if you know the Hush storyline, Tommy Elliott, Bruce Wayne's childhood friend, grew up obsessed with him and wanted to destroy him, and to really mess with him, he used Jason Todd to get to him as Clayface. Later on, we find out in Batman Annual number 25, which I'll show in a couple issues, that it was actually Jason Todd and it wasn't Clayface, that they made a switch at the last second to make Batman think it was Clayface, because Clayface couldn't have fought in Batman like he did anyway, so it kind of made sense. And then we have the big issue, Batman 635. This is the first appearance of Jason Todd as the Red Hood. This book's caught fire over the last 6 months. There's a lot of speculation that the movie coming up after Batman v Superman is going to be under the Red Hood, which is from this storyline I'm showing you. It's the return of Jason Todd from dead. Batman doesn't know it's him for a while and has to come to the realization through his own detective work that Jason Todd is in fact. And this storyline is just awesome. There's a scene where Jason Todd shows up and he's taking over all the drug gangs in Gotham City. And the guys are like, why are we going to listen to you? And then he throws out a duffel bag. And in that duffel bag are the heads of all the lieutenants of all the gangs. And pretty quick, everyone falls in line when you can show that kind of strength. We have Batman Annual 25. This is the new origin of the Red Hood. This is the book where it goes back and explains what happened in Batman 618. It also explains a little bit about how he came back from the dead. Again, it has something a little bit to do with Final Crisis, about things happening not the way they're supposed to. All the way back here during Death in the Family, it actually came down to a vote. Back in olden times, for those youngins out there, we used to have these things called 900 numbers. And what you did, you called, and the phone company would charge your account $1 or $2, or for some of the spicier channels or numbers, probably a lot more than that. But you pay $2 and you get to make a vote on whether you wanted Jason Todd to live or die. And you think we're cynical now. Back in those days in the 80s, people paid money to let DC know they wanted Jason Todd dead. And so many people did that, even though it was a very narrow margin, they went ahead and killed him. And I've listened to some interviews with Denny O'Neil and stuff, and he had no expectation that they were actually going to kill him. They were shocked that it happened. So this is how he gets brought back. Expanding on Batman Annual, we have Jason Todd, the Red Hood's first mini-series, which is Red Hood, The Lost Days. This is issue number 1. There's a variant for this one that's really hard to find and really expensive. It's a beautiful, beautiful comic, though, if you ever come across it. This is his kind of backstory, what happened during those lost days between his death and the events of Under the Red Hood. It was really good. Following this, he had a little bit of action in the DC universe with, actually it might have been a little bit before this. He was involved in Batman and Robin as one of the main villains. He was the main protagonist in Battle for the Cowl. When Dick Grayson replaced Batman, there was this mini-series about who was going to be the one to replace it. Jason Todd thought it was him that should be replacing him. And so he's always involved. During the relaunch for the New 52, he got his first title, and it was as a team book, Red Hood and the Outlaws, and that lasted for, I think it was 40 issues, so a pretty good run. And then immediately it was relaunched as Red Hood and Arsenal. Back in old times, you would just continue numbering it, but of course nowadays everything has to be a relaunch. So we have Red Hood and Arsenal, which is an ongoing series. Both those series kind of disappoint me. I still buy them and collect them and hope they'll get better because it's my favorite character. But, you know, it's like there's only so much. Hopefully, you know, the Red Hood Arsenal has been a little bit better. You know, I love Red Hood because he's, you know, the anti-hero, goes into the streets and takes care of business, isn't afraid to kill to get the job done. And in Red Hood and the Outlaws, you take this guy, you put him in outer space. And that doesn't even make any sense why you have Red Hood who shoots bullets and does hand-to-hand combat going up against, you know, other spaceships in a space battle and things like that. But that's my video. Again, check out Captain America 8387. Awesome channel. Thanks for having this contest. Best of luck to anyone else on the internet. Thanks for watching. Have a good time.